Yes, this movie is called Bleeding Love, and yes, Bleeding Love is featured in this movie. But does that make it a good movie? And is it memorable? Well, let's talk about it. Hey everyone, my name is Ryan, and today on the channel I'm going to be reviewing a drama film called Bleeding Love, which will be coming to limited theaters and also on demand on February 16th. And I got an early screener to check this one out and let you guys know if this film is worth a watch. The film stars Clara McGregor and Ewan McGregor and was directed by Emma Westenberg, and she's done a few other films, but I've never seen her films before. The film is about a father and daughter. They're going on this road trip to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and they meet some interesting characters along the way, and they're also trying to work on their relationship as well. The film starts off with a dad and daughter, and they're driving in the father's truck, and they're off to New Mexico, and we're really learning a lot about these two characters. Specifically, their relationship is pretty bad. The dad really hasn't been around a lot, and he has a new family that he has, a new wife, a baby, and this daughter, she is really struggling with drugs. She recently overdosed, and this kind of factors into the fact that she did overdose. And a lot of this film really relies on both these characters driving around, going through the desert, and along the way having a few different stops. Like, for instance, the truck breaks down, they have to get it fixed. When they're actually stopping, they meet a few interesting characters, some different influences that the daughter actually really shouldn't be doing. Like, for instance, she shouldn't be drinking, she shouldn't be trying to do drugs again, but she definitely feels tempted to. The cinematography for the film was done pretty well. Obviously, you're out in the desert. I don't know exactly where this film was actually shot, but I do think they have some decent shots, especially when they're in the truck. Even though a lot of times you're hearing the engine roaring of this truck and you're hearing both the dad and daughter just fight a lot, it was really hard for me to get into either character because obviously the father, he's been absent from his daughter's life, and it doesn't seem like he's a very good individual, but it does seem through some of the film that he is trying to be a better person and do better things. The daughter, on the other hand, she definitely has been suffering a lot through her life, and it felt like a lot through this film she was really relapsing and doing a lot of reoccurrences. And I think for both these characters, they are doing a lot of the things that they've been doing a lot through their life, and it was really hard for me to really latch on to either character because of this situation. The biggest problem with me for this movie is the fact that it doesn't have a lot of meat to it. I feel like this is a subject where I've seen this done with drug addiction and broken relationships, and I feel like there are films that have done it a lot better, and there's a little bit more emotional stakes with it. For instance, A Good Person last year that starred Florence Pugh, and I really did love that movie. It really did deal with drug addiction and dealing with alcoholism, and this film, it does touch on a lot of those subjects, but I just felt throughout this film, it felt a little bland. It felt like it was missing a little something. The different characters that they actually meet when they're actually stopping, they're very brief. They don't really add a ton to the film, but it kind of just delays the fact they're going to New Mexico. There was a point in this film where there was something that was actually revealed pretty big, and when they actually do this reveal, I was like, okay, so I think I know where this film is actually going to go, and it definitely goes into that direction. The only problem I could say is a lot of times these characters, they're fighting a lot. Their relationship is really off about them, and they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing, specifically the daughter here. And I felt like as we're getting towards the end of this film, it felt like all that stuff that was going on in the background and throughout pretty much most of the film, it feels like it just kind of gets washed away really quick, and it's almost like it didn't happen. I didn't like how they just kind of did a 180 turn there and was like, okay, this is going to be the ending. This is how we're going to solve it. It just didn't feel like much of a payoff. It felt like it was blossoming to something a little bit brand new for a certain character, but I just wasn't really satisfied with the ending overall. So overall, for a score for this film, I would give it a 2 out of 5. It was kind of a meh film. I definitely feel like it's a film where if you're really bored on a Saturday and it's raining out or something like that, you could pop this on and check it out. And if you really like dealing with this subject matter, and if you can relate to it as well, I think it would help a little bit more. I can't say I can relate to this, but I can say that I've watched other films where I felt a lot more emotional into the characters and the stakes, and I didn't really feel that with this film. I didn't think the acting was bad. I think they were trying best with what they were given, because they're not really given much of a script here. And I would say that it's probably a lower budget film as well, so I think there wasn't a lot to really go around. The script is pretty simple. There isn't a ton that happens, so if you're expecting too much to really happen in this film, I would say no, but I do think that some people, they may not like the payoff on this film. So that is why I give it a 2 out of 5. However, I want to hear down below in the comments, have you heard of this film? And if you have heard of it and you've checked it out, let me know in the comments, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? And if you haven't checked it out, is it something that you're going to check out on VOD? Or if it's in limited theaters near you in a theater, is it something that you'll check out the theater? Let me know any and all comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.